Well, hi guys, welcome to me, Fisher Rob, once again, and the Novice Angler channel. What are we going to do today? Well, I'm thinking of all you guys out there on the riverbank or the old lake sides, and you're dealing with this. 1 minute it's nice and bright, and you get out there with the old rods, the next minute it's snowing. God, what is the weather doing at the moment? But I thought I'd put through a couple of ideas just for tying on your baits, etc., different lines and things like that you'll be using to a simple D-rig arrangement. Now you'll see that simply on here. Hopefully I can hold that up so that the camera can pick that up. You've got a simple hook there to a line, you've got a D on the top, and how do we fasten on the bait? Well, we've got a little swivel here tucked on the back of the D, and that's pretty straightforward to fit. You'll be needing some of this. This is the Korda bait floss. Cracking wax, it's an extra strong one, this one. Cracking waxed line. Just sort of pop the little cover off and unwind yourself a little bit of it. So do that, and then Korda scissors. Oh, am I plugging today? Yeah, probably am. Korda scissors. And pop that cover back on. But you can pick up a good roll of this bait floss up for probably around £8 to £9 sterling in your local fishing shop. So do have a look at that. Korda bait floss. And then basically what we're going to do, because it's waxed, it's quite a thick line to handle. So we're going to prod through a piece of fake bait on this occasion. It's one of the Korda range fake pieces of sweet corn. And you can use different types, you know, of bait prodders. You've got a bare one there. This one's a little bit more safety conscious, but basically pop it onto the end, make yourself a nice little hole, and then slowly slide it through. You can hold either side of it then, and then just use the slider to push through the bait itself, and there you go. It's held on quite nicely there. So first things first, we need to take the line, the bait floss, and we feed it through the top eye of the swivel. I'll show you what I'm doing here. I'm trying to look at it also with my computer behind me. So got that there through the swivel. Hold the lines together. So you've got that like that. You might see Eazi actually on the lid. There you go. So do that, and then through the hook on the end of your bait hooker, catch the lines through that, and then pull it back through. Now, a fun part of this is once you've got all your lines through, like so, you can see it sticking out the back of the bait there. You've got to try and separate them. You've got to try and find you're pulling the right ones. So gently pull them through until they all start to pop out the other side. The craftiness about being on a D-rig is you can bury the barrel of the swivel inside the bait. And that's very useful. So I tend to push that right inside if I can, and so it bites. Then keep the loops that you've just pulled through, get those right out so they're separate. Not quite completely cleared that one. There we go, and that keeps them all nice and tight. So then all you've got to do is effectively tie it off at the top, and then once that's knotted and into place, you then cut it off down to a decent length. It's a daisy. You cut off the excess, and then with a lighter just burn back the excess and dab it on the top, and there you have your line knotted, and that bait's not going to come off that at all. So you've got your bait then fitted to your D-rig. Simple as that. So do have a look for your floss that you can get from your fishing shops. As I say, this one's Korda Boilie floss, extra strong, waxed and unscented. I think it says about 50 metres. Yes, 50 metres of line on that, and as I say, about £8–9 in your fishing shop you can get that. Go through your whatever fitting you've got on your D rig. In this case I had a swivel. Go through the upper part of that, pull them out level, then put your bait on, your bait spike, and then hook the floss over the hook of the bait spike and pull it through the bait. Once you've pulled it all out the other side of the bait, tie it into a knot, and then once you've done that, cut off the excess and then burn back the last little bit, and then just give it a tap, and then that will make a nice solid sticky fixing to the top of the swivel. And by having the barrel of the swivel slightly inside the bait, it means then that the hook is free to turn whichever way it wants without affecting the bait, you know, and the bait is also free to turn on the swivel quite happily. If another carp or whatever goes past it and it wafts, etc., with tails or fins, then everything will just spin around, blah blah blah, quite happily, all free, and then it will just represent itself quite happily, ready to go for the pickup. So easy way of tying bait on is of course using your bait floss, and it will work just as well for your various boilies, things like that. These boilies are also semi pop-ups. Now, I mentioned a while back on one of my other videos, when you're making your ground baits up and you want to fill a feeder or something, or you want to go out with some spod and stuff like that, do put some of these semi pop-up boilies in, or pop-up boilies into the mix. You can pop them into one of the Korda grinders very easily. Plenty of spikes and things in there. You just drop them into there, put one on the other, give it a good old grind up, etc. Turning, and then you'll find you've got a nice mix in there. Now you mix that with your ground bait, and that basically then is that when your ground bait settles on the bottom, you will find this, as it breaks down, will start to float up through the water, and that gives you a lovely column of food right above your table, shall we say, of food down on the riverbed or lakeside, whatever, lake bed. It's an attractant to fish that if they're fishing on different levels, you can pull them down. So don't forget that. Some pop-up boilies or semi pop-up boilies, ground up and mixed in with your ground bait or wash spod mix or something like that, and then as it breaks down it will flow up through the water and create a lovely smell and an attractant at different levels in the water, and the fish will start coming down, wondering where it's all coming from, and be pulled down onto your main bait centre. And on a note of boilies, of course, your Korda goo, don't forget your Korda goo, always good for scenting your foods when you're out there. But at the moment I'm going to go out and try my nice new Eazi Stik. This is again a Korda product. It's called the Eazi Stik, E-A-Z-I-S-T-I-K, Eazi Stik. Let me give you an idea how big it is. I might be able to give you a long range shot of it. Huge thing. This is about a 20mm boilie thrower. 20mm boilie thrower. And basically you just pop your boilie in that, and then putting it back behind your head, flip it out. It takes a bit of practice, because when I first started using this, I was lobbing it into the water about 3 feet in front of me. It was just went too far. It's plop straight in there. No matter how hard I pushed it, it just would only go about 3 or 4 feet. And then I realised what I was doing. I'm just letting it hang in there just that little bit too quick, or too long, and it would dropped down in front of me. I had my arm coming through too fast. You've got to sort of try and let it go mid-flight, and it will hit that point and then go good few yards, 60, 70 yards. You can use two hands, but I tend to just flick it now, and you get used to doing it after a while. But that's the Eazi stick. That's about £15, something like that, sterling UK, maybe a tad less in some shops, but a nice, reliable, solid, easy, very lightweight boilie thrower. Little tip to give you as well is to moisten the end. If you are going to pop your boilies in there, just moisten the end slightly, and you'll find you'll get a bit of backspin on the boilie as it goes out, and when it hits the water, it won't just go bang straight in and dig itself in. It can actually skip, so you can possibly get a little bit further with that as well. So a little tip there for you, just moisten the end before you start loading it up. And of course you can do them individually, or add them, say 3 or 4 or 5, or if you wanted, you can load the whole stick I suppose, but you wouldn't get the range. But if you did say 3 or 4 in there, threw them out, you'd probably still be doing about a good 60 yards, I should think. So there you go, another quick little video for you. Don't forget, as I say, the pop-up boilies in your ground bait. Give a little fountain of food going up through the water, and of course your Korda bait floss for securing your baits, either your fake baits or whatever, or some boilies, onto a nice D-rig. If you can pop it on a swivel, as I say, it allows the whole hook to pivot separately from the bait itself, and therefore no matter which way it gets wafted by passing carp or whatever fish you're going for, it will reset itself quite nicely. So swivels are very good on D-rigs. And that's about it. Yeah, make sure, as I say, you keep some of your Korda goos in your bait box and tackle box, and then when you're out on the riverside you have a good selection of scents to put with your foods. Okay, thanks very much for watching, and we'll catch you next time on The Novice Angler.